Namaskar friends, myself Deepak Kumar Rath. I welcome you to the digital media of Uday India. And today in India Things I want to tell our audience that is one nation, one election a threat to federalism, debunking the controversy and examining its implications with the slogan one nation, one election. The BJP announced its agenda for the Lok Sabha elections last Sunday and is also promised to enact a unified civil code for the whole of India and hold simultaneous elections for the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. The Saffron Party has been advocating for simultaneous elections to the state assemblies and to the Lok Sabha, citing the cost and inconvenience of holding multiple pools for the governments, corporations, labor unions, political parties, candidates and the general public. In the vibrant tapestry of India's democratic landscape, the concept of one nation, one election has sparked fervent debates. Proponents argue that its streamliness, this electoral process enhances governance efficiency and reduces expenditure. However, critics express concerns over its impact on federalism, asserting that it might undermine the principles of diversity and regional autonomy enshrined in India's federal structures. Today, we'll delve into the nuanced discourse surrounding one nation, one election, scrutinizing its potential threats to federalism, exploring its benefits and assessing its feasibility. Understanding one nation, one election. The essence of one nation, one election lies in synchronizing the electoral cycle of Lok Sabha, that is lower house of parliament, and the state legislative assemblies. Friends, currently elections in India occur frequently, with the country witnessing polls at the national, state and local levels at different intervals, and proponents of one India, one nation advocate for a unified election schedule wherein all elections are held simultaneously every 5 years. This perceived threats to federalism, and critics argue that one nation, one election poses a significant threat to federalism, primarily due to its potential to homogenize India's diverse political landscape. Federalism, a cornerstone of Indian Constitution, embodies the principle of decentralization, regional autonomy and diversity. By synchronizing elections, critics fear that the distinct political identities and regional aspirations of states might be overshadowed by national issues and agendas. Furthermore, opponents highlight concerns regarding the unequivocal impact of ONOE on different states. India's state exhibits significant variation in terms of size, population, economic development and political dynamics. Critics contend that a uniform election schedule might disadvantage smaller states, as their concerns and issues could be marginalized in the overarching national discourse dominated by more populous states. Moreover, the proponents of federalism argues that one nation, one election could tilt the balance of power in favor of the central government. By aligning state elections with the national pools, the ruling party at the center might gain an undue advantage, influencing state level politics and undermining the autonomy of regional parties. Examining the benefits, let us examine it. Despite the apprehensions, advocates of one nation, one election put forth several arguments in favor of its implementation. And one of the primary benefits touted is the reduction of electoral expenditure. Frequent elections impose a significant financial burden on exchequer, with resources being allocated towards security arrangements, logistics and administrative expenses. By consolidating elections ONOE aims to minimize the costs, allowing for optimal utilization of resources for developmental initiatives. Moreover, proponents also argue that synchronized elections enhance governance efficiency and political stability. With staggered election cycles, governance often gets disrupted as political parties shift their focus towards campaigning and electoral strategies. Simultaneous elections provide a conducive environment for policymakers to concentrate on governance and policy implementation without the distraction of continuous electoral cycles. Additionally, advocates contended that one nation, one election fosters better coordination between central and state governments, facilitating cohesive policy formulation and implementation. A unified electoral schedule enables a synchronized mandate, reducing the potential for policy conflicts between different tiers of the government. Now, let's study the feasibility and implementation challenges. While the idea of one nation and one election presents compelling arguments, its implementation faces formidable challenges. India's electoral machinery is vast and complex with diverse regional dynamics and logistical considerations. Coordinating elections across the country on a single day poses a logistical challenges, including the deployment of security forces, voter education and ballot management. Furthermore, constitutional amendments and consensus building among political stakeholders are imperative for the realization of ONOE. One attempt to impose a unified election schedule without consensus could exacerbate political tensions and undermine the spirit of federalism. And in conclusion, striking a balance, how to get it done. Friends, the debate surrounding one nation, one election encapsulates the complexities of inherent in India's federal structure. While proponents emphasize the benefit of streamlining the electoral process, critics raise valid concerns regarding its potential impact on federalism and regional autonomy. Striking a balance between the imperative of efficient governance and the preservation of federal principles is also crucial. Any reform must prioritize inclusive decision making, respect regional diversity and uphold the principle of democracy enshrined in the Indian Constitution. So ultimately, the discourse on one nation, one election should be guided by a commitment to strengthen the democratic institutions, enhancing governance, efficiency and preserving the pluralistic fabric of Indian federalism. Only through constructive dialogue and consensus building can navigate the path towards electoral reform that is both effective and equitable. That's all for today. Stay tuned with Uday India to know much more such information and analysis. Subscribe Uday India. Thank you.